All right, guys, how's it going, Eastbayanglers out here? Today we're talking about something we've been thinking about doing for a while and have not. We're going to talk about saltwater today. When we generally do freshwater based videos, we're going to go saltwater today, and we're going to talk about the ocean, the Bay Area, California, fishing for sharks, whether it be sand, leopard, tiger sharks, Stingray, 6-7 gill, the whole nine. And we're going to talk about our success, what we've done, what we do, locations you can fish, locations you shouldn't fish. We're going to get down to gear, the whys. So stay tuned. Here we go. The first thing we want to address is, in general, you need tough gear. You need heavy gear. You're going to need, I like to use spinning reels. They just easier to cast out further, 4-ounce pyramid sinker, and you're going to want, 2 to 3 rigs above that sinker. So I usually go with cut bait, sometimes some fish that's in my freezer that I haven't eaten. Don't throw it away if it's no good. Take it out there and cut it up. I mean, that stuff works great. We've caught everything out there on, there's different variety of fish that we're, keeping. Sometimes, mostly planted rainbow trout, and sometimes a little bit of catfish. But in general, you cut that up, it's excellent bait. You don't have to go to the store and buy any. The next thing you really want to do is you want to up your line. You want to get that 40, 50, 80 pound test, 100 pound test. You really want to up your line. 50 would be a little bit, in my opinion, I would go toward the 100. It's just more of an all-purpose. If it's a certain size fish, you're not going to probably get it in anyway. And the next thing that's really important is your rod. You want something lightweight. I don't care if it's sensitive or not, but you want a lightweight, long rod. You want a rod that's, say, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet long. And some people go even longer. And you're going to basically want to launch. A lot of the time you're launching your bait out, and I'll put some other stuff that works really well. Like, we'll talk about some of the things that work well for just going out there and catching a bunch of fish. Like I said, we said cut bait, old bait that's in the fridge and it's going bad. Prawns, shrimp, chicken liver, anchovies, mackerel, any kind of, I've actually taken some carp out there. A lot of times I'll go into a cleaning bin or something if I don't have any, or I'm just not trying to spend money on, bait. You just go in there and get a head. Take a couple of the heads and a couple of those, take it out to the bay. You're going to have a blast. So all that works really well. And, there's excellent shark fishing. That was my favorite when I was out, living right next to that. I was fishing it all the time. And I love the shark, the battle, obviously, just something about the shark lore. And the biggest I ever got was 6 feet. I had a buddy get one that was a little bit bigger. He beat mine. And his first time out at, at that. But that's how it goes. And this is so today we're going to talk now a little bit about some spots. Some of the spots I like. A lot of people go to the Berkeley Pier. I would not go to the Berkeley Pier. A lot of people go to the Alameda Pier, and there's a couple piers out there, and I don't go to any of those. Those are terrible fishing spots for the most part, and you've got a lot of people, and it's just not what I'm out there to do. So I'm going to tell you guys about one secret spot. This is, oh man, this whole stretch is really special. So if you go to, let's just say San Lorenzo, the neighborhood, there's a Royal High School. Now, a Royal High School is on a particular street. I can't remember the name of the street. I lived in that San Lorenzo for 9 years, so get that. But you know, look up a Royal High School, that street that runs right along it, follow it down. There's an industrial area, and that industrial area, all the way at the very end, it looks like it's a dead end. But if you look to your right, there's a very small parking area. And this little parking area is for people to go out to the bay and, you know, go on different, some people like to bike it, some people are hiking it, some people are fishing it. And at the same time, some people are just out there to go on, you know, a walk or sightsee. There's a little bit of, there's some fun out there to get into, but it's dangerous at the same time. Be careful out there. Always try to go with someone else. Don't go alone. But if you follow that, once you enter that parking lot and you walk the path that it clearly goes one way, which is the opposite of the street end, you follow that straight to a canal. It's like a little channel, man-made. You take a left, go all the way to the bay, because that's where the bay's at. And when you get to, there's a path. There's a path that is, I believe, mostly dirt. And if you go on that path, that entire area to the left, if you go about 1 mile to the left, that entire area for, I would say, a 1/4 mile is really good. But in general, you're gonna see a lot of small points. You're gonna see on a map, Google map it, get on those points. So when the high tide comes up, you know, you're in your spot, you're ready to go. And always fish the incoming and the outgoing. So 3 hours before the incoming, you want to have your rod in the water. And you want to do that all the way until the outgoing. Sometimes the bite's on when it's incoming. Sometimes the bite's on when it's outcoming. As far as the tide goes. Now, there's a particular point if you walk 2 miles to the left of that location that I told you. If you follow that little canal thing and you go straight to the bay, take that left, you go 2 miles from that spot, look on Google Maps. There's actually a very large point. It's very distinguishable, and it has a channel, a creek that comes through, and it's kind of got like a little bay that fills up behind it. It's a very unique spot. And every time that tide comes in, there's all kinds of food that comes in, perch and all kinds of other things. Perch are really good out there. That's a good spot. If you guys want to go out there with some grass shrimp, get ready to get on some perch. But this whole little location over here is kind of a little gem. The wind is one thing you guys have to remember. It is windy out there. And when you've got incoming tides, sometimes 5-6 foot waves, sometimes less, more, you know, it gets cold. So it's a great little place to fish. It's a great place to get the kids hooked, or just get anyone hooked. Get yourself juiced up. You know, by the time you get done fighting these fish, they're so large and they give such a fight that, you know, your hands are shaking and your adrenaline's pumping, you're excited, and you're ready to go again. Remember that these fish can take your water, your pull in the water at just about any moment. So you have to pay attention to your rod. These fish have the ability to just take it. So remember that, keep that in mind. Sometimes you're also going to have to cut your line. If you get a fish that's too big for you to bring in, and you're going to know when it's too big, and if you don't, you know, cut the line, you're going to lose the rod, the reel, and everything else. So or you're going to hurt yourself. One of those things is going to happen. You might even fall in the water. A lot of the times that area is full of rock, and it looks like concrete mixed in, a lot of concrete, and a lot of rebarb is sticking out of this concrete along the shorelines of the bay. And I'm telling you guys, that's dangerous stuff. And it's got all kinds of, you know, coral growth, but that's not the I mean, you know, but what I'm trying to tell you is it's slippery, it's dangerous, and you can break your bones and you can get hurt really quick. It's a great place though. As far as numbers, you can go out there and catch 12 to 24 fish per person. You can go out there and catch 1 or 2 fish per person, but it's an excellent spot, more productive than many that I've been to, and I've been to quite a few. Now, there is something to keep in mind. There's also striper in that area. I mean, they're not as common as everything else, but there are striper out there. And I have not, but some people that we know and have been with have caught some here and there. So, I mean, there's just a variety of fish there for you guys to target. And remember, you're going to want to make sure your equipment is up to par. You're going to want to make sure that you're on the point, and you're casting it out at an angle to the left or to the right of wherever there is some kind of an inlet that fills. That's generally what I do. That's how I do fairly well. Generally, the deeper you can get out, the better. But that's not always the case, especially in the summer. The bite is extremely good. So if you guys go out there and you fish the bay, in the Bay Area, or any, you know, bays throughout the world in general, the fish get extremely active in the summer. They get extremely active in the late fall and the early spring. They don't get so active in the winter. And in general, I have had a lot of good experiences there, and I wanted to share this little location with you guys because there's not so many places out there you can really go now. It's basically free to park. You just pull over, go on a walk, bring some gear, and catch some fish. A lot of people are out there and they are up to no good from time to time. It's that way just about everywhere. But just like I said, keep your eyes peeled. And this area is patrolled by rangers from time to time. So don't do anything too, just keep that in mind. Okay. And, you know, guys, I really hope this one helped. We're just trying to get you guys on more areas, especially in the Bay Area, where there's so many there's a lot of there's limitations, you know, private this, oh, this, you're really not, I mean, this is you're doing unsafe things, you're going on private property, you're spending a lot of money and time, and you're trying to go somewhere and just catch some fish sometimes, because sometimes the bite's bad just about, you know, everywhere. And you go out to the bay and you knock them dead, and you know, gets the juice going. Right now, we're doing a lot of bass fishing out here where we're at in NorCal. We're doing a lot of, you know, Mackinac Lake trout type fishing. We're going for browns. We're going for smallies, brownies. We're going for big spots and big largies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll talk some more. I mean, give us a comment below if you want to hear more about the bay, shark fishing, striper fishing in the bay, and stingray fishing and all that. But I think for the most part, you guys have it all right here. I think you guys are going to get out there and you're going to find out really quick. It's a lot of fun. Now, a lot of people, they're out there and they're taking their sharks and they're taking stingrays and they're making soup. And you can do that if you guys want. Just remember not to take too many of these fish, just because there is a lot of mercury and a lot of other things that have spilled into the ocean in the time that man has done what man has done. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.